Hi FlossTube, it's Lorna, the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is the 21st of February 2018 and I'm here a week early just to show you what I've been doing for the Winter Olympics Challenge by Stitch Mania. I do have quite a few projects that I've worked on, so I thought rather than wait another week, I thought I'd bring them to you now. I hope everyone's had a really good week since I last saw you. We've just been chugging along. Nothing major has happened. My husband's away for business or for work, so yeah, it's a bit quieter around here. My daughter's at preschool, so I'm here alone. Yeah, I'll get started. I noticed in my last video that the phone kept slipping, and by towards the middle of it, I think you were seeing from here up, so I'm really sorry about that. So I'm going to keep an eye on what my phone does in case it slips again. So hopefully it'll stay stable this time. Okay, so this is since I think it was, last time I saw you was the 13th of February. So I'll show you what I continued to work on that day, and then and what I've done this morning. And then next week I'll come back with what I did this morning until next Wednesday. Sorry, what I do today until next Wednesday. So it won't be too long a video, hopefully, just because it'll take ages for me to upload videos if they're longer than, say, 30 minutes. So the first one was day 5, speed skating, and that was to set a time limit. I didn't set a time limit. We were kind of in and out all day. I took my daughter to back to where we used to live. The club there had it was like plaster painting, and we met up with some friends from there. So we were out for most of the day, and she had fallen asleep when we got back. By the time we got back, so I think I filmed the video that afternoon because she was asleep, but I just didn't set a time limit. I thought I'll just see how much I can get done. But anyway, I worked on Fantasy Triptych, and here's a picture of what it will look like. Here's a picture of what it will look like when it's finished. And here's a picture of the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So it's not a great deal, but I have sort of brought the first column down. I'm now working on the second column. That space there, so that is the first column there, and that is actually the space for the lady, I think, in the picture. That's actually worked, most of that is worked 1/1. So that's why that's like a gap there. So she'll fit into that, and I'll leave that until the end of this page. So when I finish the rest of the stitching on this page, I'll go back and do that. So yeah, I was actually enjoying this one when I was working on it. This is by Teresa Wentzler. It's on a 28 count Lugana, and it's 2/2 except for the charted 1/1. Next one was day 6, and that was medals, and it was working on Emerald Mermaid by Mirabilia. And here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And because she's going to appear again in this video, here's what it looked like at the end of day 6. Day 7 was skeleton, which was a Halloween theme. And I worked on Victorian charm by Dimensions, which will look like that when it's finished. That's about as spooky as my stitching gets. So that's my Halloween theme piece. Here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And again, because this one will appear again in this video, here's what it looked like by the end of day 7. Now, day 8 was the biathlon stitch on 2 pieces, and I had nominated to stitch on Dreaming of Tuscany by the Gold Collection Petites Dimensions and the Boy King by Janelin, which is a Tutankhamun piece. I didn't have much stitching time on that day, unfortunately, and I only worked on one piece, Dreaming of Tuscany, which is this one. And I've mentioned in the past how much I hate this one, and unfortunately I didn't feel any different when I picked it up this time, so I think I'm getting closer to making this a UFO and just tossing it. I'm just not impressed with it at all. It's got nothing to do with the design, it's just me. I just the back is really messy, which I know shouldn't bother me, but it does. It means that when I stitch, I'm picking up a lot of stitches from the back and they're coming through to the front. There's half stitches, which I don't enjoy. I don't like the fabric, which is an Aida. It's 18 count ivory Aida. It's not that stiff, which is fine, but I don't know, for some reason I'm just really not enjoying it. But I'm gonna think about it for a little while, maybe set aside some time to really spend some time with it, and then see how I go, and maybe I'll offer it here. I'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but there it is. So yeah, I don't know why I hate it so much, but that's how I feel. Then day 9 was figure skating, specialty stitches, and I was supposed to work on my chatelaine, but again, I didn't have enough time. I think that was the weekend and we had people over and I was just too busy. I didn't have any stitching. I didn't do any stitching on day 9. So unfortunately, my chatelaine didn't get a look in. But day 10 was Heaven, Earth and Humanity, and I chose the Storykeep Secret Door. And here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I've almost finished the first column of page 2. And this bit of background here was all 310, all DMC black. So I thought I'd get that over and done with. And I worked on the 310 as much as I could without having to count too far. So that chunk of 310 is done. I don't have to worry about it next time I pick it up. But still really enjoying this piece. The reason I chose this for the Heaven and Earth and Humanity theme was because it's by Heaven and Earth Designs and there's a human in it. And I'm really, really enjoying this one. So hoping to finish page 2 maybe by the end of March. But I was hoping to finish the whole piece. I think by September. It was by the 1st anniversary of when I started it, and I think that was September last year. That was day 10. Day 11 was 15 sports disciplines, and I chose to work with the 6 Wives of Henry VIII, which was a new start. It's by the Primitive Hare. There are not 15 colours in this, but there are 15 colour symbols, because some of the colours double up as French knots as well, and they obviously have different symbols to the cross stitches. I've decided to change the French knots to beads, but I'm nowhere near up to that yet. I will do the beading at the end. So this was a new start, and it's being worked on 30 count Old Salem linen, which is a hand-dyed linen put out by the Primitive Hare. And here's where it is at the moment, and that's the part, that's just the left-hand corner, the top left-hand corner. So that's the start of Catherine of Aragon. And there's a cross there because she was very pious and Catholic. This linen is not a favourite. I like the dye, don't get me wrong, the colour is nice, but as a linen, it smells really, it smells like those old Hessian bags that I don't know if some of you remember, we had those old Hessian bags in the 90s and they used to smell really bad. It smells a bit like that. So maybe the fact that I kept it in its packaging the whole time. Oh, I just lost my needle, sorry. It hasn't helped it. The other thing is it's really uneven. I mean, it's a linen, so of course it's uneven, but it's just very flimsy, and I am more of a even weave. I prefer even weave to linen, and so that's probably why I'm not so fond of this one. But I am enjoying the piece, and I think my goal was to finish the top quarter of this, and I think I'll easily be able to do that because I really am enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it after the challenge is over. But yeah, that's it there. And then day 12 was Olympic Village, so stitch something with a house or other building in it, and I picked up Victorian charm again. And here's what it looked like at the end of the last time I used it, which was day 7 for skeletons. And here it is now. So again, not much progress on this. I tend to find that I can't really work on it in artificial light, just because it's navy blue, and I find that I need natural light to work on this one. So I packed it away fairly early in the evening, and the evening is when I get most of my stitching time, so I didn't have a long time to stitch on it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, sort of. It's not my favorite, but I don't mind it. I would like to get it done because I do think this is something that I'd like to hang up on my wall. But yeah, there's a lot of back stitching in it, which I'm kind of avoiding. I've made a couple of mistakes I'm finding now, so I'm trying to fudge my way around those, and I'm not going to show you where they are. But yeah, that's where it is at the moment. So that's that one. And then last but not least is day 13, which is today, and that's 79 nations, and you need to stitch something related to the 7 or the 9. I chose Emerald Mermaid by Mirabilia. Emerald and Mermaid both have 7 letters in them, and Mirabilia has 9 letters in it. So that's why I've picked this one. Now, the last time I worked on Emerald Mermaid was day 6 for the medals, which was metallics or beads. And here's what it looked like then. And this is what it looks like now, and I will continue to work on this today. And she's being stitched on Summer Sky Even Weave on 32 count, and that's just a piece of fabric that I bought from 123 Stitch. And my goal for her is to finish her by Mervember, which is in November, of course. That's a sale that is being run by, I think it's Mirror on the Wall, which is a Facebook group. And that happens, I think the first year was last year in November, and it was to stitch on a mermaid during the month of November. And I'm hoping that they'll run that again this year and hopefully stitch on a different mermaid. Now, speaking of sales, after my last video, Terry from Rabbit Trail Cross Stitches, something like that. I'll put the correct channel name here. But Terry is lovely. She's been on FlossTube for a while now, but she's recently deleted all her content of her channels and restarted. And I'm really glad she's back. She's working on some really nice projects, and I love her videos. I love the rabbit trails she goes on. But she contacted me after my last video and asked me if I would like to do a sale with her for Andromeda by Mirabilia. And we kind of went backwards and forwards a few times, and we've settled on the 31st of October as our date for when we will start that sale. So if anyone else would like to join in, you're very welcome. We're doing Andromeda by Mirabilia, and we decided on 31st of October because it's Halloween. Neither one of us really stitches Halloween designs, But her birthday's in September, I believe, and my birthday's in December, so we kind of went for the middle month. So yeah, so we're, if you'd like to join us, please join in. We don't have a Facebook page or anything like that at this stage, so if you want to join, just start on the 31st of October or continue on the 31st of October or whatever you like. There's no rules or anything like that, but everyone's welcome. So that's it for this week. It looks like it's only about 15-minute long video, which is fine. It shouldn't take me too long to load, which is awesome. And I should be back next week to show you the rest of the Winter Olympics challenge and the pieces that I work on for the rest of the time, as well as my plans for the rest of February. Actually, next week will be the end of February, so it will be my plans for March. My plans for the rest of February, after the Winter Olympics challenge, which I believe finishes on Sunday, that leaves 3 days in February. And I think what I will be doing is working on my Prairie Schooler alphabet for the rest of the time, just to finish Block C if I possibly can. I think the Prairie Schooler alphabet hasn't made an appearance yet in the Winter Olympics challenge, but I think that's coming up either tomorrow or Friday. And I'm going to be starting on Block C, and I really would like to finish it by the end of this month. So hopefully I can get that done. I also want to, my new start for March is going to be, and I'm not starting something new for the whole, every month, but in Australia, the first day of autumn is the 1st of March, and my sale with Belinda from Aussie Stitcher is to start all the Mirabilias in their season. All the Mirabilia queens in their season. So I've already been working on Summer Queen, which I started on the 1st of December, and I want to pull out my Autumn Queen on the 1st of March and start that one. I still need to work out which fabric I'm going to use for her. I still need to bobbinate all the bobbins and things, so I might spend some time doing that by the end of the month, so that I'm ready to start her on the 1st of March. So that's my plans, and that's all I have for you. Oh, books. I always forget books. I finished Sense and Sensibility, finally. I feel like I've been reading this for ages, and I think I started this on the 2nd of January, so it has taken me almost 2 months to read, which there's no excuse for. It's just that I haven't really been spending much time reading. But this is a favourite book of mine. I have read it quite a few times. It's looking a bit tatty because it's been read so many times. But Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and I'm reading this one as part of the Reading and Stitching Cell, the Jane Austen Reading and Stitching Cell on Facebook, which I will link below. So I love this book. It's really good. Victoria the Queen by Julia Baird. I mentioned last time I saw you that I had renewed it too many times and had to return it to the library. They wouldn't let me keep it. They said that I had to give someone else a chance to see it while it was on the shelf. But what I managed to do was to reserve it as soon as I sent it back. And so pretty much as soon as it registered that it had been returned to the library, I was able to reserve it, and they kept it for me to pick up next time I was in the library. And we usually go to the libraries on Tuesdays, my daughter and I. So I was there yesterday and I got it back out, and I'm still nowhere near finishing. That's the front, so I'm past halfway. I am hoping to finish this week, because I also got from the library The Woman in the Window, and this is by AJ Finn. I don't know anything about this other than I heard it advertised on the radio as a new book, and I thought I'll see if the library has it, and they did. It was on reserve. I think I was third in line to receive it, and now it's got another 3 reservations after me, so it's in high demand, which means I won't be able to renew it if I don't finish it in the 3 weeks that I have. So I would like to read it. So I'll let you know what that's like when I start it. That really is it now. I will see you hopefully on Wednesday next week. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Happy stitching to all of you. Thank you so much for your lovely comments about the retreat in my last video. I really enjoyed reading them and reliving the experience. It was such a wonderful experience. Thank you for the thumbs up and for the subscribers. I think I got some new subscribers last week as well, so thank you to anyone who subscribed. And I will see you again in a week. Bye everyone.